everybody. Welcome. Welcome back to Tuesday Talk, where we come on live every Tuesday and just talk real talk. That's it. It's business talk. We keep it real. It's not scripted. We don't discuss topics. We just come on and pretty much wing it and keep it as raw as we can possibly keep it. So, DJ, hey, you're like my
Good
girl. You've been
morning.
here every single time and I love it.
Yeah, no, I'm here for you. So I'm excited. Thank you. It's
Cool.
always great to hang out every Tuesday and talk. And for me, it's special in the sense where we're just kind of, casually talking about work life, what's going on. And that's really kind of nice, relieving way as opposed to the normal show that I do where it's mental health, disability, and trauma related. So this is just so nice to kind of kick back with you every Tuesday morning and chit chat about other stuff,
You
important
know,
stuff, nonetheless.
right, but not as serious. And I agree. I love doing this. This is like playtime for me, coming on every Tuesday and talking. And I almost forgot to set this up because I was out of town. I was speaking in Columbus, Ohio last week, and came back into town and was just kind of like doing some stuff, getting caught up, but it throws everything off. And I'm like, I think last night I sent you a message. I'm like, are you going to come on with me tomorrow? Like, are you interested? So, yeah, it was like last minute. Because I did want to reach out to Kelly too from the chamber because we told her we'd pull her on. And I'm like, it was just so late last night. I didn't do that, but maybe for next week, I'll be a little bit more organized.
That
So,
happens. We all need those weeks where they're just a little bit slower, a little bit easier. You're not trying to
yeah.
cram everything, every detail.
I
That
know.
so sometimes it's okay. It's okay. And you were out working in, your hometown. So that's kind
I
of
know.
nice.
It's yeah, like, sometimes I have to pinch myself and, like, "H how did I get here?" Like, honestly, I am so grateful for every speaking opportunity, and when I look back, I am like, I have no idea how this happened, but it's so cool that people pay me to speak and travel, like, h how much
Yeah.
better can life get? I don't
It's
know.
incredible
I
opportunity. Good
know.
morning, everyone.
I
Everyone's
know.
settling in. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for
Yes.
everyone being here. Alex, good morning, my sweet pea. I'm going to reach out to you later. I have you in my mind for quite a bit now. Mackenzie, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And Anthony, we're kicking off the Kidney Trails Summit this week. I had Dwellyn Williams as my guest this past Sunday. We were talking about renal care, kidney care. Help me out, Anthony. And the summit's this week. It starts Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. It's been fantastic watching them get the summit together. Alex is going to be there, and she's a speaker. I'm going to be moderating for Tim Jackson. So it's going to be exciting. The team's just pulling it together, and Anthony's just such a leader. Everyone just adores him, and I can see why. So it's been wonderful. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. And I see Chris. So I did a thing as Chris. So what's up? Good morning, Chris. Thanks for hanging out.
So I'm streaming this to Twitter today. I haven't tried Twitter
Yeah.
before, so I'm, like,
Ooh,
creeping on it to see if it was working, and it's totally working. So I'm
yeah,
pretty
Twitter.
stoked. You are on Twitter?
Oh yeah, I tweet everything. I love Twitter. And
Yeah.
listen, I don't know. Are we going to talk about? Are you
Let's
going
talk
there?
about it. I mean, it's
Oh wow. I don't know too much. Like I do like pop culture. I do like what's keeping up with some of the news and what's going on with that, but I don't know the details and oh goodness, here we
yeah.
go. This is some real Tuesday talk. You're making me sweat
Oh, no, I don't want you to
about
sweat. Yeah,
about
I'm
Elon Musk
curious.
grabbing, trying to get Twitter. I know everyone's talking about it. And that
Yeah,
he
I
put in
mean,
a bill, how many billions of dollars?
$44 billion,
$44 billion. So now what? Three
right?
companies, right? I saw another article about how this would be his third company that he would be because he has Tesla, he has SpaceX, and now he would have Twitter,
Right.
and how that would change and all the information. I know that's another bit, how he would have access to everyone's information.
Yeah.
Because it's a social media network. And I mean, Twitter's been around for, that's an old and a goodie. I mean,
It's
Twitter
where I
is,
started.
yeah. So
I
it's just
started there.
wild to see what's going on with it.
I know. My feed is so funny. I'm curious if everybody who's listening in, are you on Twitter? Will
Yeah, who's
you
on Twitter?
stay on Twitter? Will you get off of Twitter? Like, what will you do?
There we go. Strong
So,
opinions, Mackenzie. Yes. Yeah,
so
that's
yeah,
terrible.
so I've always been on Twitter. I don't know, what impact it will have and how it will eventually change, if at all. I'm excited about the edit button. I know that's very simple. Like,
Oh, yeah, there was an article
you
I read about that
I'm
too.
excited about that because I am always going back and editing my
Really?
my content. So I'm like, oh, I'm looking forward to that piece. But
Yeah, there's
yeah,
been a couple tweets where you misspell something, and you want to apologize, but you got to keep going. I mean, it is what it is. So there's
yeah.
Dwellin. Good morning. There was my guest on Sunday, my Sunday
Oh,
special.
wonderful.
Call him my Sunday
Oh,
special.
neat.
So
Oh,
yeah,
awesome,
thank you for dropping those
awesome.
links. Hope I definitely want to promote the summit. They're just doing really good work for kidney care. And have you been affected by any kidney disease in your family? Is there any
No,
connection there? I was just curious, but
no,
just a big event happening. So, anyways, I know it's Tuesday talk, and we were kind of talking about the other thing, but
well, I
I
heard
want
you
to.
have some big news about what you did this weekend.
Do you want to? Oh, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, talk about it,
Okay.
because you know what? I think, yeah, let's talk about it, because you're
Okay.
not alone.
Okay.
But I
So
made it
this
sound
week,
really serious, didn't I? When I said you're
I
not alone.
know,
But
not
it
alone,
is a
but
big
I mean,
win.
it is a big win. So absolutely a big win. So as a new entrepreneur, someone that's trying to create a brand, right? Someone that's trying to create a business with social purpose and true mission and true value. We all know the power of a website. So this is where I'm going with this. All weekend long, for months and months and months, I've been stressing out about a website. My website was DIY, baby. And I was like, this is just very limited. It's not really a true expression of my business. It doesn't really capture and doesn't really give value either. So Deanna, I've had this on my mind for months and months. And so finally I said, I'm just going to buckle down and I'm going to try to figure out how to and I use WordPress. I have a WordPress website and I have the Elementor over it. So I just went at it. I just started looking and researching and playing with it. And it just was so easy. Now, yes, I have a little bit of an interest in technology and techie stuff. So, but to be able to build my website over the weekend and put pages and just all the different elements was just really, really fun. And it was just, I wasn't on social media and active, but I was really buckled down, focused, working on my website. So it was just,
That's like huge congratulations, because that is so important. And so many people will put all their eggs in one basket, and that one basket being social media. Whatever platform that they're on, they go hard on that platform. And then they realize it's rented. Like, you can't do that. You need to keep that traffic. And that's why your website and your email list are the two things that you own. And ironically, in my feed, obviously there are people that are for and against the purchase of Twitter from Elon Musk. And uh, what I saw, some people, was a whole thread, and of course the geek in me started reading it, and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna leave Twitter, but I'm gonna build my email list before I go. I'm gonna really work hard at that and then ditch it. And I'm like, yeah, like, I mean, whether you ditch or not, I don't really care, but
yeah, no,
at
I just
least
like the
it's
fact
not
that
that
that comment
easy.
that came out of, their idea. Like, hey, I'm just going to snag an email list and get off Twitter. That's
Yeah.
interesting. So much.
So, and I thought so too, but that's why I'm so proud of you for doing your website, and because that
Thank you.
is your brand. That's where people are going to go to, and they're gonna find
Yeah,
out if they're gonna want to work with you or not work with you. I love the
absolutely.
message that Alexandra just asked. Can you both speak a little bit about changes that you've made to your brand messaging as you've grown and changed in your business? So do you care if I start? Because I just went through a total rebrand. So
Go for it.
I went through a complete rebrand. So about 12 years ago, when I first launched my marketing company, it was by accident. It was not planned out. It was because I won Top Mom in Business from Discover Card for an at-home business that I created just to be more present with my boys as a single mom, and it grew, and I used social media for that. Well, then other women mainly started reaching out and asking me, how did I do what I did? And I seriously had absolutely no idea how I did anything, but I would help them. So I would help different people that I know just build a website, or I teach them how to use social media, and it was working. And then when people I didn't know started reaching out, I was like, "Oh my goodness, I think I have a business. I don't know who these people are, but I keep getting phone calls asking if I would help them, with their social media, or if I would help them with their website." So literally a friend and me, I went out and I was sharing this with her, and I'm like, I'm starting to get kind of busy. I think I have a business, but what do I name it? And we were drinking wine, and literally I was thinking like something media, like what media? And she said Sassy Girl. And it was like, cheers. Like that was our whole strategy. Well, Sassy Girl Media was great for some time because it spoke to women. And what I believe that Sassy Girl Media did was that it made talking to a marketing agency less intimidating for a lot of women in startups. But as I grew and things changed, my clients changed, and I found myself sometimes, uh, if I was talking to, whether this is right or wrong, this is the reality, right? If I was
Mm-hmm.
talking to a man who was a C-level and talking about their marketing, I always felt kind of funny and too fluff to say Sassy Girl Media. It just felt more like a fun hobby, even though it was my only business. This is my full-time gig. It just felt fluffy. But I struggled for 2 years because I had I branded myself. So people would see me, they're like, "Hey, Sassy Girl." They forget Deanna, but they say Sassy Girl. So changing it to Carbon Silk was a really hard decision, but once I did, the amount of people that reached out to me, men and women, but a lot of men were like, "Thank you for changing that because now I feel I'm included." I literally had somebody, and this is kind of funny, and then I'll stop talking.
No,
But
you're good. I love the story. This is
I
great.
I had somebody I knew with Buffalo Wild Wings reached out to me,
Mhm.
and I met with I met with them and their marketing director. And this is when I was Sassy Girl Media. And as we were sitting there talking, he's like, "Can you just give me some pointers on social media? What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong?" And so I did. I just told them what I would do to tweak it. And the response back was, "You've told us more in 5 minutes than our current marketing agency has done for us in the whole time we've been working with them. Do you work with people like us?" And I was like, "Franchises?" They're like, "No, men." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, of course I work
Oh,
with men," right? But that was
oh.
but a lot of people, because of Sassy Girl Media, they questioned that, right? They weren't really
Mm-hmm.
sure. So, yes, so that's how I've grown up with my message and my brand over the past several years. So, I love that question. Although you got a really, really long story out of it, but that's
Yeah.
how I've changed. How about you,
Hmm.
DJ? I know you're new, so I don't know I mean, even in that short amount of time, though, I think you kind of
It takes
changed.
time. Yeah. Okay. So I do believe in letting be what will be, in the sense where you start with an idea and then it evolves. Naturally, it evolves into what it's going to be. And sometimes
Right.
you can't control what it evolves into, and really the people that listen to you, the people that surround yourself, the people that understand your work really have valuable things to add and say. And so I like to get feedback. I like to get, Alex gives me feedback, Mackenzie gives me feedback. So many people give me feedback, so many people that have been through in the past on past conversations that, I say, it just seems like this is the way you're growing. And that's really great growth. And I love seeing you do that. And I'm like, okay, keep doing that. Right. It
Yeah.
kind of confirms, but it's just something that maybe was just done organically and just really just fell intuitively. And I talk a lot about that, where I get that, following our gut feeling and just doing what's right for us. And we have to know ourselves in that sense. So, your brand, your business, you have to gain clarity.
Yeah.
Clarity in a certain sense where I've struggled to find my business's mission and purpose. Even though I know it, it's like putting it into words. So it's just right, which that's tough. So in the sense, I
Yeah.
just try to really let what's happening in this last 6 months from leaving my position to really welcoming entrepreneurship and letting it just really develop into what it's going to be, whether that's more public speaking or whether that's more video content and live streaming or producing. Those are my wheelhouses, but you never know either, right? Like you just never know what
Right.
opportunity, even if an opportunity from like some other company or agency or organization came, that's not anything to say no to just because I decided to start a business, so there,
Right.
I know for me that there is flexibility and opportunity. But you want to lean into, at least for me, what has been feeling healthy and good. And I
Yeah.
knew that staying where I was not what I wanted to do any longer. So I knew that I had to move into something different. And that takes guts. That takes guts
Yeah.
too, because you have to constantly reinvent, right? And we've seen pop stars and media, people that reinvent themselves to keep themselves. So I think that that's just part of it. You don't want to be, stale. You want to evolve as needed, as necessary, because you said it yourself that your clients were like, well, do you serve us? Well, yeah, I do. But, and sometimes in the past, you have an idea and it's that idea at the time, but it
Yeah.
evolves into a totally, like you said, so you had to kind of go with it and change your branding. And I think that's great. There is. I'm
Yeah.
all for
Yeah.
it. At
It's
some
a
point,
crazy
maybe
road.
my branding will change. This is just the branding for now.
Well, you know what? I believe that it will, and I love
Yeah.
it, right? I love
Yeah.
I love what Mackenzie just said. When it's time to grow, you have to allow it to happen. And I was just gonna say something
Yeah.
along that same line that you are going to change. Your branding, the brand may stay the same, but your message may
Mhm.
look different as you continue to
Oh.
grow and you find out who you really like to work with and how you like to work with them. Then that's who you're going to speak to, is just that group instead of right now. And maybe you're not doing this. I know in the beginning, in the beginning when I started a business, it was you want just business because you just want to pay the bills, right? So
Oh,
you're like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
willing to talk to anybody and everybody, and I just want to get my message out there. But then when you know the type of business or the type of person so that you really want to work with and who your brand speaks to, then that message gets a little bit more clear. But in the beginning, you really don't know because
You're
you just don't
trying.
know. You
Trial
don't
and
know what
error
you're
too.
yeah, it's trial and error. So, I love that Mackenzie said this, but you
What
absolutely
resonates, right? You don't know what resonates. You don't know. It is really a lot of, let's see, what's the way to say, like, challenging yourself, right?
yes,
Challenging yourself and really putting yourself out there in different ways just to kind of see what works and what really is your true, because anyone can see when you're not being authentic. And I don't like saying that word, but most people can tell, like, hey,
my
that's
husband
it.
hates that word too, and
I
I say
know
it
I'm
all
not a
the time,
big
he hates that
oh,
word.
Alex. Yeah,
I
but
have a question for you, and I
yeah.
dealt with this, but I'm curious if you deal with this too, or if anybody listening. When I started my business, right, you, I mean, and for probably too many years than it was worth, people will give you advice because they want to be helpful, right? But then
Mhm.
I felt like, oh, I have to implement that because that's what they want, and I need to implement this because that's what they want. And then before I knew it, it didn't look like anything I wanted. It was like it was so scattered. It was what everybody else was
Ooh.
saying, but not like it that made my message really muddy and unclear. But I was trying to speak to everybody and help everybody and offer everybody whatever it is that they needed or wanted. I'm like, "Oh, I could do that, and I could do that." Do you find yourself, since you're in the early stages, doing that, or was that just me?
No, 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 it happens. It happens because so I agree with a few of the things you said there because you said a lot of like really accurate points in the sense where you feel like as a new business you just want to take all the business. Any
Yeah, right?
business, which is not the true, right? Because then you feel like a square trying to fit into a round hole. And then you
Yeah.
confuse yourself like, well, what are my services? Well, what am I supposed to do? And then you start questioning yourself. So I'm going to refer back to this, my website, and my website finally gave me clarity. Like, okay, putting it on the website even gives me clarity on what services I offer.
Yes, yes, I love that.
See, and I was like, now I can't deviate because my service is there, everything's there. There's no reason for me to quit. Do I do this? Do I do that? Should I do this? I think I can do that for that person.
Yeah,
So, but again, it does take a lot of trial and error. Can I do that? Am I good at that? Like, okay, so I'm going to use a story about the website. I built the whole website in the weekend. I know it sounds like, what, DJ? Okay, but I did it. Elementor is that easy. WordPress can really honestly be that easy in the sense of, you know, um, the drag and drop, right? Like it's not code. All right, I'll leave it at that. But does that mean now I can offer website services? Does that mean like, oh, if someone asks me, DJ, I love your website. Can you do it for me? Yes. Ow.
people do.
I know. And it's tempting. It's very tempting to be like, now I can do websites too.
Right. Yes, and but you know what? I'm gonna speak to that because this is what I see, and being that
Oh
that's my arena, it is easy to create a website that looks good from the outside. It it is. You can make it look very pretty, right? But it's like
right.
having a billboard in the desert. It's the stuff that you don't see that is so much more important. You do want it visually appealing, but you want that SEO, you want that user journey, the psychology that goes into how you actually the order that
Yeah.
you put content in and all that. And so, and I'm not beating you up. I am so, so proud of you, but I
Oh
see
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
so often because it doesn't any right. 2020 brought out a lot of social media influencers, and I'm using
Yeah.
air quotes because everybody thinks they're an influencer. So
Right.
I'll meet
I
someone like,
know.
"I'm an influencer." I'm like, "Really? Okay, cool." Like,
That's one
I'm
of those words like, "Ugh,"
or
right?
yeah,
Some of
or
us
I'm doing
cringe.
social media now for clients, and then I ask questions, and
Mm.
they're like, "I don't know," or now they build a website because they do the drag and drop. And listen, that's where I
Right.
started. This is I started
But
there
that's
too.
just
So,
at
but
least
I'm
it's
just saying,
empowerment. At least it's just my
working,
empowerment. Yeah, yeah, no.
keep working on it. But people will, when it comes to the digital world, and you're going to run into this too, being a producer,
Yeah.
right? When it comes to
Mhm.
the digital world, people will say like that's what I do when they really don't have any idea. And unfortunately, the public doesn't know unless they ask the right questions or if they're educated on that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I would just say
That's so
keep getting
true.
educated and don't assume that um keep learning, just keep learning.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, and that website goes back to that, right? It provides credibility. It's there.
Yes.
It's available. And I talk about accessibility. So in this sense, I have to go a little bit back into the website. Like now I'm like, how do I make my website accessible? How am I going to go back and make sure that all this work I've done is really on what I want it to be, because I just drag and dropped a bunch of stuff and it looks super like pretty visually for the outside. And then there's a sense of structure that now that you're building. And I'm even going to talk maybe about automation. I'll say that word, because automation and that whole
Yeah,
building
definitely.
those automations from your website and your email funnels, connecting that in, like, top priority, trying to get it right there. Like, so once it's there, and it stays there. There's no question. What do you do? Like, listen, I've been doing this. And now I feel more empowered. See, so that was all that empowerment talking. And I built my website, and
Yes, I'm so happy that you
now
got
I
that.
know what I do, quote unquote.
Right? But I mean, that sounds funny, but there's so much
But
truth to
it's
it
true.
because
It's it.
I've met people and I'm like, so what do you do? And you get this really, really long story and all this talk. I'm like, you should be able to say what you do like that, 15 seconds, spit it out. But that's when you don't have clarity, you know? So kudos to you because that forced you by creating your website, forced you to find that clarity of
Hmm.
what you're passionate about, like, you know, what sings to your heart that you really enjoy doing and what you want to do. And that's so important, you know? So
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Well, it's things that need to be done. And this goes back to public speaking. This goes back to those opportunities that when they're presented, people want to check you out. People want to see if you're real. People want to see if there's substance. People want to know if there's value. People want to know if you really are what you say you are. And if you don't have a website, they're going to be like, I don't know about this cat, right? Like, I don't know. Some stray cat coming up trying to offer me something that I don't even know if it's real. So, for me to
Yeah.
go into these opportunities in May, I would feel like imposter syndrome and a fraud if I don't really put myself together the way I know that it needs to be together.
Right. And Alex, I just want to say kudos to you for being so authentic. No, it's transparent is probably the right word, right? And just saying, you know
Mhm.
what? Like, I was like, what do I say? And you're right. I mean, it's so common and that people aren't really sure what to say, what they do, or how they do it. They get nervous.
Mhm.
They know clearly what they do, but to spit it out in a really quick way that will start a conversation. And I'm not one for those little elevator speeches. I personally hate them. They sound so scripted. That's me, but, you know, being able to say what you do is definitely important. So, thank you for being so
I have a
transparent.
question on that. When you
Yeah.
say scripted, let me hammer
Okay.
that for a second, because as
Yeah.
a newbie, as a new entrepreneur, this is something that I'm kind of curious about. When you say scripted in that elevator pitch, do you mean where it sounds the exact same every time? Because when people ask me, what do you do? Sometimes it comes out different. It's like, oh, did I, right? I'm a speaker, or I'm a remote producer, or I don't know what I do, right? Like, it just depends. So that's unscripted. Clearly, that's just me trying to find my way, because I have maybe
Yeah.
I was lacking clarity, or I was lacking right in that transition as you leave a place of employment and then you're finding your way as an entrepreneur, that mindset change that comes along with it, really trying to organize and structure a business and really understanding, what where your focus is, right? So of course building social media is not as important as getting that website done, right? That property that you own, that
Oh,
intellectual
yeah.
property, right? So um but you just kind of have to know exactly what you want and where you're going, and really kind of understand how you can say that as fast as possible. But I don't have a script. I kind of just chat, and that's why I love live streaming, because it's not like
Yeah.
podcasting in a sense where there is a sense of scriptedness, whether it's an interview or maybe it's something a lot more produced.
Right. So, I think starting with a script, not even a script, starting with an outline of what you do, it to help you clarify what that message is, right? It's how do you bring value? And it's not really about you, it's how do you solve whoever you're talking to, how do you solve their problem? So what can you say? So I think starting with that outline is a good idea to help you get that clarity and to stay focused. When I say an elevator pitch, what I mean is when somebody repeats it over and over and there's no emotion behind it. It's almost
Mm,
like they're reading the words in their head just back to you. We're very monotone,
gotcha.
right? DJ's so foxy. Yes, she is.
Thank you, sweetheart.
I love it. It's just that monotone without that emotion, and it loses that energy if you say it over and over. Yes, I'm with Kenny
Yeah.
D. It just sounds unscripted, like you are reciting words. Thank
Exactly.
you for
I
sharing that.
I
But that
definitely
sounds
like
like
emotion in words. I like emotion in communication. That's part of
right.
communication is that emotion. And if you're not investing that into your words and into then yeah, people will be like, oof, flat, right? Like hollow.
Exactly. Exactly. So I believe that there's an art to knowing what you do to stay clear and focused and to deliver it still with heart without it sounding scripted.
Hmm.
That's what I think really, that's like the good stuff.
That's
That's
what
sweet
I've been
stuff.
doing. Yeah. It's
Yes.
over and
And
over
I
like
think that's so important.
what do I want to give? What is that gift I want to give? What do I want to offer people to help them, right? To assist
Right.
them to have a better quality production. Like you every week I'm like, why don't you add this and why don't you tweak that? And it's like every week you're improving and you're growing and it's becoming easier
Yes.
and a lot more. So that's what I would go back to. I love speaking and I love engaging and I love sharing my energy with the crowd. I love offering, assistance in some sort of community or, way of growing our society or improving our society. So just knowing that that is what I want to continue to say. What do you do? That's what I do. That's what I
Yeah.
want to be doing. There's no script there. It's all from the heart, from the gut, from the inside, you know.
Yes, and I think that's so important, right, to know what we do, but there are a lot of people that when somebody says, "So what do you do?" They get nervous, that anxiety
I
creeps
have a
in, and they're
question.
like, "I'm not sure what to say."
Hey, Enrique, ¿qué pasa? I have a question. Enrique, I need to reach out to you, by the way. I just something to ask you. Um, I wanted to say, oh, I just lost my thought because Enrique, wepa. Oh, repeat what you just said because it just struck an idea in me and I wanted to ask a question. Repeat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Unscripted. Kenny, yeah, thank you. I've lost my train
I
of
don't
thought,
think this is
folks.
a
Gotta
this
love
may
live.
sound scripted. This is the furthest thing from scripted.
Yeah, I know.
This probably needs some sort of script or outline to follow,
I
but
know. I got my comb. I'm like flinging my comb around. That's how unscripted this is right now. I'm trying to part my hair. Happy Tuesday talk. Oh, I don't know. I'm
Did
sorry.
you have a
Really, the
question?
roller
I thought
coaster
you
will
said
come. I did. I just can't remember, and I'll remember it
oh,
in a
God.
second.
I'm, like, waiting for you to
It's
ask
okay.
the question.
I know, no. Right now, I'm just waiting for the roller coaster to go, make a little spin, and come back, and then I'll have my question. But it's okay, Enrique. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. We were just chit chatting. Again,
Yes.
that's all. What were we talking? What were you saying? Just repeat what you were saying, or what you had
We
just
were
said.
talking about,
I'm
like,
sorry.
elevator speeches and scripted, and what do
Okay.
you do? And so many times people get, anxiety. They know what they
Okay.
do, but to repeat it, it's like they get nervous
Oh,
because 'cause
I
they're
got
not
it.
sure what to say.
I got a question. I got it. So my question was going to be, so my job, what I do is comes from passion. It comes from purpose. So it's easy for me to express it that way when I share it. But my question would be if someone doesn't have a job like ours, even Anthony's job, but he is speaking from the heart,
Yeah.
speaking on something that he's so passionate about. What is it? Maybe it's those jobs that are not as emotional. I don't know if that makes sense. It's those jobs that are a lot more like, this is my job. There
Mhm.
isn't a whole lot of passion behind it. That's, they're fulfilling their responsibility, they're providing for their family. There's a sense of accomplishment, there's a sense of success, and all that is very valid. But they can't speak from a place of emotion, maybe because there really genuinely isn't one, but it's more of a task, it's more of a responsibility. So maybe that's what it is.
Possibly. I really don't know. You know
I don't
what?
know.
It's kind of I need to pay attention a little bit more.
Hmm.
Most of most of the people who are around me are business owners.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't mean everybody who's around me is a business owner, but that just seems to be, that's who I surround myself with, or other business owners. But I need to pay attention to those who do have a job and are employed from somebody else when I ask, what do they, what do you do? And hear if they have the same emotion. Although sometimes even even our emotion is like,
Oh yeah, yeah. No, for sure. And you
here's
can't
what I
have
do.
positive high levels of energy all the time. That's not really what
Yes.
I'm saying either. But I was just, it's like Alex, this would be great for Alex. And I'm going to say this just because a little behind this extra feet information is my mom was a nurse and she's been a nurse for her whole life. So she's worked in all kinds of nursing, different kinds of nursing facilities, doctor's offices. She's done geriatric care. So I grew up around a lot of like nurses in my family. So I didn't want to be a nurse. Okay. I just didn't want to do the medical thing, the blood,
Yeah.
that was just really hard for me. I like more of the psychology, sociology type of topics. And anyways, the point is she would say like there's so many nurses out there that just do it to do it, but they don't do it with their heart, right? And that affects patients.
Hmm.
That affects, so I know since we have amazing, wonderful people here that have a lot of medical care, work in medical offices, I'm sure that they can relate when they meet a coworker or a colleague that just has no desire to be there, no desire to really care, and put their emotions into it. Maybe it's burnout, right? Burnout.
It could be, yeah.
Those kinds of things is what I'm
Absolutely.
saying. Like you have to do the job because it's the job, but really you're burnt inside or whatever's going on. There's just not that emotion, that passion. So
Yeah. I agree.
that's maybe an example I can kind of come up with. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
I no. I like what Mackenzie said. My words are more practiced than scripted. And it kind of goes back to what Anthony said earlier
Mm-hmm.
when he said when he's public speaking, he's found it easier to have
Oh,
it
yeah.
unscripted, and he uses or two note cards with highlights on it. I'm with you, Anthony. I don't use note cards, but my slides are my notes. And like Mackenzie said, I'll go through those slides at least once before I go live because I know the content, right? And if you're
Mhm.
presenting, chances are really good you know exactly what you're talking about. So, but my
Mhm.
slides are my note cards. I know when it gets to a certain slide, I know what I'm going to be talking about and how it flows. And yes, I love that what Mackenzie said. My words are more practiced than scripted, and it's
That's
so
great
true.
advice for any speaker. Yeah. I mean, you know the
Yes.
material in your head. You should have a sense of order, right? You know where everything goes. So all you need are a few prompts to kind of keep you.
On track. Yeah, because I can get way off track real easily and start talking about something else. The what I spoke about last Thursday, was email marketing. So that's what I
Mm.
was talking about, right? But there was a part of me that kept saying, stay here, because I wanted to go into social media too. Like I wanted to deviate with some of the where my slides were and talk about social media and then bring it back. But I'm like, I only had so much time to speak. I'm looking at the clock, making sure I'm on
Good.
track. And I kept it in line. But if I didn't have those slides, who knows where I would have ended up. Like
This episode, I love it. It's turning into like speaking. Last week we talked about speaking. This week we're talking about speaking. This is really cool.
we have been talking about speaking quite a bit, haven't we?
Yeah, just kind of,
Which
and everyone here really does like, I mean, when you're live streaming or you're podcasting and you're in this, you're Toastmaster. I mean, we do it
yeah,
because we love to talk.
we do
Hence the
love to talk.
Silver Fox Talks. People like, where'd you get the name? And I'm like, let me give you a little explanation, but I like to talk. Ever since I
I do
was little.
same. And I kind of joke because every report card that I have always said Deanna would be a great student if she just wouldn't talk so much. And now I get paid to talk. So I am like, this, I don't know. I feel like I'm winning. I think teachers should stop writing that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with talking. There is something wrong with being disruptive, and there's a difference, but the talking part.
Neither.
No, DJ's words are never scripted.
Maybe just the beginning of my show where it's like I always do the same thing, but that's about it. Once we get going, it's up to the guest to kind of lead the conversation. So yeah.
Yeah.
And in these shows are great. Me and you are Tuesday Talks, and whoever joins us, maybe one of these lovely people will join us one of these Tuesdays.
You know, I would love that. And I was sitting here wondering, is there a way on
To share?
Restream that you can pull people in?
Drop the link right here in the plus sign. Let's do that. You can add, wait, let's see.
Oh, that's video. Wait. Is it, invite guests. So if I copy this.
You can put it in the, I don't know who wants to come on, or if anybody wants to come on.
Let's see if I'm doing it.
Yeah, you can
somebody
totally
wants to hop on.
There it is. Oh, she's putting it out there for the world.
I put it out there. God only knows where that is. But yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, we only got 20 minutes, folks. And I'm recording a podcast after this.
Are you?
Yeah, so before our next appointment at 12 here Eastern time at Toastmasters, I'm going to be recording a podcast. So I got a really great day. Then later on today, I'm going to be doing some networking. It's going to be exciting. Just a busy day today.
Yeah, I have a busy day too. I've got some coaching and consulting, but you know what my highlight of my day is going to be? And this is kind of funny. It's nothing to do with business. Is that I'm in the process of getting that TSA pre-check. When I flew out to Ohio and went through the Orlando airport last week, the line was absolutely ridiculous. There was of course it was spring break, right? And so it was so long. Now, everybody that works at Orlando airport, like I've got to give them, some props because it did move quickly. So I got through. I thought I probably would be late, but I wasn't late. I got there in time and I probably had like 30 minutes to spare because I'm one of those people that have to be at the airport 2 hours before because I'd rather open my laptop and work than run to my gate. I don't know. Like that's just who I am. I like being there early. So yes, so I am like so excited about doing this whole application for the pre-check. Yeah, has nothing to do with being in business, but
I love it. Traveling though, traveling is part of business. That's it.
Well, true.
It's good. It's good. I mean, that's just part of it. And I haven't had the fortunate opportunity to be traveling just yet, but that's okay. It'll come.
You will. Yeah. I think things are really starting to change right now where I'm starting to see it. A lot of everything from COVID where conferences were stopped, people are now starting to meet again and come together, and conferences are starting to happen again, slowly, but they are. So I don't know. I'm over here, I'm reading Alexander talking about that at the summit, passion, peace, and empowerment in healthcare. But honestly, it can be used for any profession and organization. Oh, okay. For a second,
I'm like, session. What a great session. All right. That's how you do it. Passion, peace, and empowerment.
I love that.
In healthcare. So that kind of goes along with what I was talking about, healthcare workers. You have to have that passion. You want to have that empowerment of your patients for healing. And if you're not contributing that peacefulness and stressing out patients, but yeah, I mean, I would assume it. Yeah, Anthony, come on, jump.
Come on.
Got a couple minutes. You're the best. But yeah, we can definitely, he's fun. He was a guest too. This is great. Such a great group. Great people. I mean, and it's, work that needs to be done. So, and he's building, his first summit. That's hard to put a conference together. It's hard to put a summit and take on that leadership role and build your business, build your brand, and build that resource as, you're building that. So
that is a lot of work to do and keep the brand. But I wonder if, is this the first year that Anthony, is this your first year? And I don't know if he's trying to come on or that you're doing the summit. Do you know DJ or?
Yeah, this is the first year, I believe. I know when Dwellin can.
I thought I put the link in the notes.
It doesn't go out to LinkedIn.
He's on LinkedIn,
and he's on mine. So just send it in LinkedIn, maybe. But
hang on, I'm gonna just hop over.
We'll give you come over and drop your summit information, your Kidney Trails Summit. I just, this week we're just pushing the summit and bringing awareness to kidney care. So it's been really nice. But again, going back to just building a summit, building a conference, picking topics, sessions, speakers, moderators. I get to be a moderator.
Are you
the
really?
Hype woman? I love the way Dwellyn was like, you get to be the hype woman. And I'm like, yeah, all right, let's bring out our awesome speaker. So it's going to be great. I'm going to hype up Tim Jackson.
Cool.
Yeah, but it's a team effort and collaborating with people that are so driven and yes, passionate, have that purpose, have that clarity. Those are the people you want to surround yourself with, you want to work with, want to, amplify their mission because you know that they're really doing what it takes to do something that is well done, right? It's whole in a sense. So
Anthony, just real quick, if you still want to hop on, if you go to my page, Carbon Silk is the name. I put it in the notes under that. Because I don't know. I guess I could find DJs, but it's in there. Hopefully you can find it. If not, we will figure out.
Take forever.
Bring you on next week. Or bring whomever on next week. Because it does put the link in there. But it's kind of cool that it's posting. It's on Twitter too. So that'll be fun.
Oh, that's cool. You checked it. Drops out to Twitter?
Yeah.
The comments? Oh.
Well, yeah, you can see it.
That's great.
On Twitter. Yeah, it was just on there looking.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can see just the same screen. So same thing that you see on Facebook and LinkedIn. So yeah, I've never done it to Twitter before.
Well, growth, right? Just like Alex said, #growth. I mean, you want to try these little things as you're moving forward, experimenting with things that are going to work for you, sustainable in your business. Keep trying new things. I love it. So I'm all about it.
Yeah, I agree. I do too. I definitely, and that's why I'm doing this live stream. Normally I'm podcasting and I do have my podcast still.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing this and soon there will be, I was invited on a TV show out of Ohio on Armstrong Cable, which is really just around Youngstown, but somebody that I know is getting his own show and just a local show, but he asked if I come on. I'm like, yeah, cool, super cool. So I'm excited about that.
Support. Yeah. And that's one of those tips that I would like to give people that are streaming. It's like, at least invite your friends for the first couple guests. Make sure they're people that friends that you have, what the conversation feels like. That way there's a sense of comfort pre-established. It's not like you're having to worry, quote unquote, about the conversation so much, but really just becoming comfortable in front of the camera and understanding the structure of your show, understanding the structure of the purpose of why you're doing it, right? But your friend at that point, the first couple episodes, is just there to kind of provide more support than anything.
Yeah. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
I know Dwellyn he started a new podcast too, and they're working 4th or 5th episode.
Who did?
Dwellyn. Dwellyn has their
cool.
He started a new podcast. So it's just great to see how people are implementing even these strategies into their marketing, and they're like, it's working for them, right? They've embraced it. They're enjoying it. They understand how it helps their business, the power of live streaming or podcasting, incorporating that.
I would love if anybody does have a podcast or a live stream or just your preferred social media, just drop the link in the comments. That'd be so cool, because then I can, when I'm done with this, I can follow up and listen or follow all of you and just say thanks for hopping in. Oh, look at
yay. Anthony.
We got Anthony in the house.
Hello, how are y'all?
Good. How are you doing?
Wonderfully well and exceedingly great. If it gets any better, I'm gonna go out and dance.
Maybe you should dance. Dance. Do a little dance.
The dance is dancing. We're gonna be we're dancing all week, right? We're dancing all week, Anthony.
We are.
That's awesome. I'm so excited that you hopped on. So how is the summit coming along?
It's coming along really well. Really excited. We are right at the last stretch before we start tomorrow, so we're really excited about it. I've got some meetings tonight for it, and got some also a live stream that we'll be doing later as well.
Oh, wow.
You're hosting?
Dwaylen and Rick
you
are
a guest?
hosting. Dwaylen and Rick
okay.
are hosting. It's gonna be all three of us, the Rich and Dwaylen show, and I'll be there.
I see
I'm
the
generally back
comments.
and behind doing the producing.
Oh,
you know,
that's
doing all the comments and all
right.
that stuff. And so Dwayne's like, "Hey, I want you on this time." I was like, "Okay, sounds fun."
I remember doing like I'm producing, right? I'm not on camera, right? Like I'm just in the back, right?
Right,
Like,
right.
Yeah. But not tonight. All right.
Not tonight. You know, we did one, was a Friday, I think it was, the Friday Fireside Chat. And so now we'll be doing this one tonight too.
Where will the live stream be? On LinkedIn?
LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch.
Nice. I have not got on Twitch. I did creep on it a little bit because we talked about this a few weeks ago. And everybody, and Anthony, I think you were part of that conversation too, was saying Twitch is awesome. And so I did go there, and then I sent my 24-year-old son a message going, "Are you on Twitch?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, so I think I might do it, but I'm like, I have no idea what this platform is about. And he's like, "Mom, you got to do it. It's like awesome. You definitely need to be on Twitch." So I'm like, that's what they're saying. So I might be reaching out to, okay, look at Twitch is super awesome.
Yeah.
He said,
it's a different audience. You know, I think every platform has different audiences, different
Yeah.
people are looking different platforms. The more you get your name out there, the better off. The different people, you never know who's going to be touched by what you say.
Right. I need to just figure out how to get it set up. It's so funny because I'm like, I'm not sure. And I was trying to search for other shows, live streams similar to this to see, like, get an idea of how are they setting theirs up? What do you write? Like, what goes where and what does it look like? But yeah, I didn't. I found a lot of gaming stuff, but I know there's a lot of live streamers too, so I have to spend more time. I've yet to use Twitch, but I hear good things. Yeah, I'm with you, the Drunken Grape. And by the way, I love that name.
Oh yeah, another great
I think we could be
podcaster.
really good friends.
Oh, he's amazing. No, just really great. Exciting to support all these like different going on with kidney. And I know Rob from doing the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and he was supporting that cause. So I mean, really, these are just our friends are just amazing. They have such good hearts and souls, and I'm just super excited. Gangsta. I know. Anthony, I do have a question about the summit. Can you just let us know some of the topics and your speakers? We really want to honor your summit here. I don't know what time we're closing out, but I know we got a couple.
Probably
minutes,
in about 5 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes.
I'll be really quick, but really, the summit is bringing some of those individuals that have actually had kidney disease, and we're not going to really be talking about like the medical things. I mean, we have some people talking about the medical. We got pathologists there. We have a physician there. We have some different people, just a few. But what we're really focusing on is the lessons that someone learned as they were sitting in the chairs, some of the things that really helped them. You see, when I was in the chair and I was on dialysis, one of the things I wanted to find somebody that knew what it took to be successful while I was on dialysis, whether it be as a individual that had to do treatment, someone that wanted to be a transplant, someone that just wanted to be successful in life in general. And I couldn't find many people or anybody out there that was doing that at the time. And so that's what we're really bringing together. We're really bringing, people that have stories of success, how they got there, the lessons they learned, the challenges they faced, how they overcame them. Because, and the one thing is the only difference between me and y'all in that is that I had kidney disease, but y'all faced other challenges that have brought you toward the place that you're at. So that can really, I was able to take from people like Les Brown, Zig Ziglar, all these different other wonderful speakers. But, what about those of us that have that story with kidney disease? We can bring value to the marketplace through our lessons that we've learned. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what we're looking at. We do have we have Willis Porter, we have Darren Colley all the way from Ireland who will be speaking. We've just got a lot of great people.
Wow, that's
Thank
awesome.
you.
And I love the position you're taking on the summit. It's about the people sitting in the chair and what they've gone through and what helped get them through. I think that's so important. And whether you're going through it or going through something else, I'm sure that there is going to be a lot of really strong takeaways from that. So very cool. Very cool. The link is in the show notes too for the summit, so you can sign up and attend. And what day is the summit? And is it in person or is it virtual?
It's virtual. This year, with everything, not knowing what was happening with COVID, we decided to do it virtually, which has actually been good for us. It's been a good experience for the whole team and I. So it starts on tomorrow, the Wednesday, and it goes Thursday and Friday. So we got the 2 days, which is 2 full days, 10 to 5, 10 to 6, something of that nature. And then the third day, which DJ's moderating, is going to be our business portion of it, where we bring in business professionals from the industry to share, because I see a lot of nonprofits starting in the renal industry and in other different industries. And it's like, what can I do to help them? So we want to bring people to be able to share business experience with them so they know how to do, when they do these nonprofits, they can do it correctly and be successful at it.
Yeah.
I think that I just gotta say, this is one of the things that I love about Anthony and this mission is because, there's life after kidney care, right? Like after kidney disease. And that's one of their most important messages is like business is still important, family still important, quality of life is really like such an important mission in what they're doing. So I love that it's not just about being a patient, quote unquote, but beyond that.
Yeah. We have to think beyond the chair.
I love that. Beyond the chair. That's a good title for a book. Maybe that's next.
Yeah.
A book is up and coming.
Lots of books, graphic novels, and
we got more graphic novels coming. I've got a book coming out sometime this year as well.
Oh, wonderful.
So
you have to come on and share that too when that happens.
It's part of the business, right? I mean, I can assume that that's part of the journey, the healing, just everything that you're able to capture and still give back. I know that's super important to those of us that really, do this kind of work. It's giving back and helping others through their journeys.
Absolutely. And I know I've learned a lot because, this is definitely DJ's arena when it comes to these conversations, more than mine, right? But with everybody hopping on, I'm learning a lot. And I've said this to DJ as well before, prior to meeting DJ, I didn't realize everything where I was missing the mark on things. And you don't know what you don't know, right? So I had no awareness, but all of you guys sharing this information, DJ, with your live stream, just bringing more awareness has benefited me. So thank you guys for doing that and continuing to do that. So I think we're going to end it now. I've got everybody. I always get somebody who schedules a consulting meeting like immediately after. I need to put like a buffer, like a 15-minute
yeah, give us 15
in my calendar. So I have got to get going. I want to say thank you everybody for joining in. DJ, Anthony, thank you for hopping on, dude. And that's super, super cool. DJ, thanks for always being here with me. And I'm going to go back. So if you did not share your information in the link, please do so. I saw a lot of people were doing that. So I can go back and follow all of you and listen to your show. So, all right, guys, until next week, we'll see ya.